Well, good morning. Welcome to B Cube Sunday morning. It is a great morning. Frog, tell me this:
What's up?
is Esther going to come join us?
I don't think so. I think you're getting
No, she sent an email saying that she's too busy getting things ready for the Kickstarter.
She is. She is
Well, you know
absolutely
what?
neck deep in graphic files right now. Is what's going on.
I have worked with Esther. I have been in places where Esther is working. You will know her from the little swirl that looks like um, um,
The Tasmanian devil in the
that's
cartoons.
what I'm thinking of, and I was looking to reach for my Tasmanian devil. That the Tasmanian devil is there because Esther is just one of the greatest workers I've ever known, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know what Frog would be these days. But it's kind of like that old joke
Oh,
about.
homeless. I don't know.
Oh, you remember the Hillary Clinton joke, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
About the
Yeah.
plumber.
Well, no, that was somebody. That was the second round of it. This one was about the mechanic. Bill and Hillary pull into to go say back home, back in Arkansas, and the gas guy comes out, pumps their gas. Hillary jumps out, gives him a big old hug. How you doing? And tells Bill, oh, she used to date him. And Bill kind of fluffs himself up, says, well, hell, looks like you did good. And she said, not really. If I'd have married him, he'd have been president and you'd be pumping gas. But
Mhm.
the
Yep.
it is just a key thing to understand the role of all of the members of a team.
Mhm.
It is a uh, you never if you just got to enjoy it. Hey, looks like we got our people coming in, but anyway, uh, we were just running over the fact that the fourth congressional district in Washington State has a thin chance of actually. We're the one where we had a Republican vote to impeach the orange turd last time. Well, he was oddly enough resigned or didn't run anymore, and so we've got now a Democrat running for his seat and could possibly win. All of the rational analysts are telling me, yeah, it's not very likely, Bob. But I am not a rational political analyst. I let my
I think you're screwed.
what?
I am a rational political analyst, and I don't think you have a chance.
Yeah, I do.
Bob, aren't you in a district with an awful lot of young people who can register, who new voters? Are they registering?
Uh, we are. I am not out registering. However, I'm out doing lots of other pieces and parts. Um, my first election, I registered more people than I won by.
Mhm.
And I'm encouraging, but I'm not. I know what I can do and do, and so I'm focusing on my strong point, so to speak, which is getting out and doing face to face work in the neighborhoods.
Mhm.
And I probably I haven't even thought about pulling out my voter reg cards and doing more of that because I'm not where I'm at. I'm not running into unregistered voters. But that's a good point, Karen. And I guess I better head down to the county office and pick me up some forms.
You
You're
might have
being
more
barked at.
success, Bob. You might have more success recruiting people to go out and register from the people you're meeting. Given what you're doing, that might be a more effective thing for you to do.
You never know. I don't know. It's politics. the way politics works has changed, but I do know this: money helps. A face in the yard, a face at the door helps.
Hmm.
Being able to just to say hi, I'm here. We have a Democratic. We had
Candidate.
11 people running for this office. Only one of them was a Democrat, and he still wound up pulling 30% of the vote. And the Trump endorsed lady that was out there, who's already a office holder in the precinct, is she only pulled 35% of the vote, and he pulled 30% of the vote, 31%. And he's not an office holder; he just lives here. So that's why I'm going to say I have my faith in John Dureski, and I'm going to get him on this program if I can convince Tom and uh, Karen to introduce him.
We'll do it.
We'd be glad
Okay.
to talk with him.
But
Yeah.
let's move ahead and let's introduce our amazing guest who we thought we were going to have Frog and Esther, but Esther is actually too busy doing work on a Kickstarter. So we're going to ask Frog about how Kickstarters work.
Okay, you are damn. When you said amazing guest, you set me up to be a smart ass response, but then you know me and you just dove right into the.
You got it.
Yep.
We're taking over the ship, Bob.
Yep.
Well, it is your show this week, so I am going to do one thing right now, and that is I'm going to take myself off the podcast and let the professionals do it.
Yes. Yes. Like amateur what? Yes.
Okay, Tom, you jump in for a bit.
All right. So actually, people know who we are because we're here all the time, but I don't think most of our people know Frog. Frog, would you like to introduce Impulsive Walrus Press, yourself, and why we thought you'd be a good person to talk about Kickstarters?
So, Frog Jones. I'm with Impulsive Walrus Books. We're a small press out of Western Washington, over in Chilton. We do a lot of anthologies. We do have an open submission portal for novels. We're not as politically aligned as BCube is. We try and just kind of have some fun with things. But probably what we're known for best is our weird anthologies. We have several that are just kind of a little offbeat from what you'd normally see from an anthology, and we've made our mark a little like a Karen. Okay, a lot off to like.
So you're syncopated, is what you're telling us.
Say what?
You're syncopated.
Yeah, we're syncopated. That's a very good way of putting that. We have found that Kickstarter is, for us, a more preferable way of connecting with our audience than going through Amazon Prime and KDP. And I think that's only going to become more true with the AI novels hitting the markets. And there's a whole spiel I have on that. But
We'll get into that. We'll talk
get
about
into
that. Yeah. Because that is an important part of what I think it's an important part of what Kickstarter is useful against.
It absolutely is. I mean, Kickstarter or BackerKit or any of the crowdfunding sites are a method to connect directly to fans, much more so than going through Amazon, which is an algorithmic-based interface, right? Kickstarter isn't that. And BackerKit's not that, and the other crowdfunding sites, however you want to do it. It's a much more direct, it's much closer to being at a table at a convention in terms of the way you sell things.
Just what I was thinking about. The history of the science fiction small presses has involved people getting involved with their audience.
Yes,
So you're
very
doing
much so. I mean, look what we're doing right here. I mean, this is that, right? Like,
I want to talk a little bit about why I really wanted Frog to come talk about this. I have been supporting Kickstarters since the beginning. And I've also been talking a lot, because I do some publishing work, to authors who are thinking about doing them. And I've seen some great ones and I've seen some very unsuccessful ones. And one of the things I've noticed is that it used to be people would say, "We have an idea and we want you to help us make this a reality." And they would go out with this concept and they would either succeed or not succeed at the Kickstarter. But recently it has changed. And Frog and Esther from Impulsive Walrus have been really I think, at the forefront of the new direction in Kickstarter, where you say, we have a book. We have all these people who've contributed short stories and art and all this stuff. And now we need you to help us publish it. And it has blown me away as someone who backs Kickstarters, how much more appealing it is to know that they've actually got a product. Frog, did you start with the other kind, or have you always gone out there with a finished product?
We have always gone with putting the book together, mostly. And what by that I mean that we have a digital art, we have the cover art. There are pieces of it that we do not have before we do a Kickstarter, because a lot of those pieces are the stretch goals, right? So interior black and white illustrations, right? That sort of thing. And so there are some parts of the book, a special thanks page, right? Where, if you contributed at a certain level, you actually get your name in our book with a special thanks. And any copy of the book we sell, there's your name in there. And so we don't have the final version of it until we have our Kickstarter surveys out and they're back and we're done. But we do have, an arc. We've got the product, we've got the stories, they're edited. You know this very well because you're one of the authors in our most recent one.
Specifically, I want to say by an ARC, you mean an advanced review copy rather than
sort of ARC
a
is
shape for what's going to
advanced
happen.
review or an advanced reader copy, depending on which publishing house you're at. But yeah, it's an ARC. We've got that out. We've got some social media influencers that are reading that right now, and we should be seeing some posts from them soon. And we also get the ARC out to our authors so they can see their own stories, and if they've got corrections, they can get it back to us. So yeah, we've got the publication like 95% put together when we go into a Kickstarter. The reason we do that, and the reason that works better, is we're a publishing company that does multiple Kickstarters, right? We're actually accelerating the pace of that. We've got a publication schedule that's calling for, one Kickstarter every 4 months now.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what it means, because they only let you have one Kickstarter that is either live or in fulfillment at once. So while you're in fulfillment on Kickstarter A, you can't go live on Kickstarter B. And so
That makes sense.
September 8th, we'll start the Kickstarter for Glenn Must Die here. And that will run through September. And then October, November, December will be in fulfillment on Glenn Must Die, while simultaneously we'll have the next project that we're in pre-launch on. And then in January, we'll launch on that project. And January will be that project. And then February, March, April, we will fulfill on that project while in pre-launch on the next project.
I've been involved in the design of some Kickstarters, and they're almost as complicated as designing the book, because
in some ways more.
Yeah. How do you decide what incentives are going to appeal to your audience, while also making sure that you don't put out incentives that are a pain in the ass to develop? Like telling them, if you do this, you will get an interview with one of our authors or something. I've always looked at that and thought, what a nightmare to corral everybody.
Yeah. So the answer is we've done a lot of guess and checking, and we've made some mistakes in some of our past Kickstarters.
What mistakes? What is the reward you wish you'd never offered?
So let me talk about Cthulhu Facon for a second. Cthulhu Facon, great anthology, really successful Kickstarter. Funded within the first 48 hours. I mean, we were made our pro rate level, did everything we wanted to do with that Kickstarter. But the problem that we ran into is that we had a lot of stretch goal levels that were different editions of the book. And so we ended up with 6 different SKUs at the end. And that is an absolute nightmare to juggle. Right? 6 different SKUs means 6 different ISBNs. It means, it's just, and then we've got to decide which one of those we want to take and sell on the table, and which one of those we want to feature on Amazon, because all 6 different SKUs have their own. I mean, it's just a nightmare logistically. Keeping the right things in stock, keeping the right whatever. And so, yeah, that's that's our real nightmare scenario that we want to avoid, trying to do that. We have stayed away from doing anything that requires the participation of our authors. Asterisk, unless we've already done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the big thing with Kickstarter is your Kickstarter account follows you from one Kickstarter to the next. And so if you screw people on a Kickstarter once, that's that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You may as well burn your account to the ground and start over.
This is actually somehow reassuring to me as a Kickstarter customer to hear this, that they are really protecting the quality of what goes on.
Well, it's just like someone getting a bunch of bad reviews on an Uber, right? Like, you don't hire that Uber driver or whatever it is, right? If you get 1 star, you're screwed. And so fulfillment is really important, and a lot of the anthologies that you are talking about were like, I've got this idea, I'm posting it on Kickstarter. I'm posting it with a goal of $500, and hey, I made $800. Now I have a Kickstarter. Now I've got to put out an anthology. What do you mean it costs me more than $800 to do an anthology?
Yeah.
Right? Oh no, this is a lot more work than I expected it was going to be because it's an anthology. And I thought we could just take stories and slap them together and have an anthology. And so the guy takes 2 years to put the thing out. Meanwhile, his comment section is filling up with people saying, where's this book? I paid for this book. I don't have this book.
Got it.
And so, and he's stuck in that fulfillment, right? Kickstarter doesn't let you post your next Kickstarter until you're done with fulfillment. And if he hits, I'm done with fulfillment, if he hasn't shipped all of his product, and a Kickstarter user sees that, they're going to report him, right? They're going to say, look,
wow,
I spent $20 on a book. I never got the book. And the guy's saying he's done shipping product.
This explains a lot to me as someone who has kind of been on the outside. And I've always been impressed at how enthusiastic everybody is about doing fulfillment. And now I know why.
Yeah, it's because your next project is in the tank if you don't fulfill your first one, right? You've got to, which, I mean, imagine that in a physical setting. Imagine that in a physical setting where you walk up to a storefront, you're like, hey, I'm going to buy this, this, and this, and you pay them, and then the storefront says, okay, go away. Mm-hmm. Right? You're not.
How many have you done?
So Glenn Must Die is going to be our 3rd big one. Right? We haven't done a lot. The ones we have done have been really successful. And like I said, ask me that next year and the number will be much higher because we're moving into this advanced publication schedule now that we've kind of got it down.
Turning it into a real publishing method rather than
Yeah, well, at least having a schedule for it, and kind of keeping the cycle going. Right, we kickstarted the 4th book of the Grace Under Fire series just kind of as a test run, and that blew through our expectations really well. Yeah, I see Jeff and Andrew talking about theirs as well.
Yeah, yes, people in the chat are talking about their own Kickstarters, and we'd love to see further comments from you as we go along. Absolutely.
I did some research, and there's been the total amount of money raised through Kickstarters is over $3 billion.
Yeah.
That's like this.
And remember that most of that has nothing to do with the publishing industry.
Yes.
Yes, but still,
Kickstarter's publishing area is much smaller. But if you look at some of the works that are going on there, there are some exciting things happening on Kickstarter. Right, Brandon Sanderson didn't open the door for everyone. Like, people were doing it before he ran his big one, but he definitely increased the visibility of Kickstarter as a publishing avenue. We had actually already done the Graceless Kickstarter before Brandon did it, but
he got a lot more publicity.
A big name, and he drew a lot of people, and that became a thing. Grim Oak Press recently ran a over $1 million Kickstarter for an anthology, the Masters of Fiction anthology. Really successful. Now, granted, they had a huge number of big names attached to that, but it was still a really successful run.
Locust has just done one for a Best of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you're seeing the publishing move towards this. And I really think that this is going to be the crowdfunding model, and I don't know that it will always be necessarily Kickstarter. I think, first off, BackerKit is starting to run in competition to Kickstarter a little bit. You're starting to see some publishing companies essentially bring it in-house and set up their own sites, which is Impulsive Walrus's end goal, right? Like, that's the,
that's your stretch goal.
Well, that's not our stretch goal. Stretch goal is a very specific thing when we're talking about crowdfunding, but it's the long-term plan.
Frog, that really makes sense, because I think it's interesting as Kickstarter, the platform, has evolved to see some of the techniques they've used. And one of them has been, if you funded this, you might like those. And my reaction has always been, no, that isn't how I deal with life. I see something from an author or a publisher, I go directly in, I do not look around. So I think Kickstarter, that means that if you wanted to bring it in-house, you'd still be using the same communication channels.
That is the thing, is that Kickstarter actually requires you to bring your audience with you, right? The thing that Kickstarter doesn't do nearly as well as Amazon is, if you have a book that appears at the top of the Amazon list, you will get a bunch more sales from people you have never interacted with. Kickstarter will give you a boost. So there's a rhythm to these things. Okay. And
so what proportion of, say, the Cthulhu FH Con book, what percentage of your sales were Kickstarter and what percentage are other?
Oh, I would say 90% were the Kickstarter.
Because I've sold your book at conventions, so I'm surprised to hear that, because it's a real convention popular book.
Oh yeah. No, it sells really well on the table. But we kickstarted that for almost $7,000.
Okay.
Like,
how many copies on the Kickstarter, rather than the amount of money? How many copies?
I would have to go through and look.
Approximately.
I don't have that number on the top of my head. I really don't. Because some of them were ebook copies, and some of them were physical copies, and some of them were the hardback, super fancy physical copies, and we had.
And sometimes they get bundled with other stuff.
And sometimes they get bundled with other stuff, right? Because we have And the more books we get, the more cool bundles we can do, which is kind of fun. But we're actually going to, with Glenn Must Die, try and streamline that a bit. Because we found with Cthulhu Facon that there was a choice paralysis problem. And so we're actually, Glenn Must Die is going to be a lot more streamlined in terms of the choices offered to people than Cthulhu was.
I'm putting this on my calendar so I can boost it when it comes out on the 8th.
Yes, September 8th is when we're going to hit the launch button.
Well, I am incredibly excited about that book and being in the book. And Manny Frischberg and Ed Vick are in that book. And
they are. They are. So there's a lot of, like, I just went through and did blurbs for each of the stories, which means I had to go back through and reread the stories again. And it's funny because it's been about 8 months since I last went through and read them, because I've handed it over to Esther and she's done the publication side of things.
And you're thinking, why on earth did I ever accept this story?
No, actually, it's been like, oh God, yeah, this actually is a really good book. Like, I can't tell you, it's a really good. It's probably the best anthology we've done.
It's one of the few anthologies where I got the author proofing, and I read everyone else's story. I was amazed at the wide range of stories and the genre spread that came in. It was pretty good.
So that's one of the things I try to select for, to be honest. We have found that, and this actually harkens back to the How Beer Saved the World anthology that I was in with Bob, because we found for anytime we have books on the table, anthologies do one of two things: they either fly off the table or they do nothing. And the thing,
as a bookseller, yeah.
Say what?
As a bookseller for many years at conventions, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? That is the
generally
thing,
true of anthologies.
And so what we tried to do is figure out what the difference between those two things was. Right? When are they selling and why aren't they selling? Right? What is the difference? And what we found is that anthologies that are premised around a specific genre or a specific type of story. So you've got, I've got an anthology about werewolves. I've got an anthology about zombies, right? Like that sort of thing. I've got a steampunk anthology. Those books do nothing. They sit there. Because invariably you're going to pick up the anthology and you're going to read a short story. And then you're going to read the next short story and it's going to be pretty similar to the last one. And then you're going to read the next one and it's going to be pretty similar to the last two. And then you're going to put the book down and think, I don't need to read the next 19 stories.
Interesting.
And people have that experience with anthologies. And
it's true. If I saw a steampunk anthology, I would probably just move away and buy a steampunk book.
Right.
And not buy the anthology.
Right. This is slightly less true if you've got a completely original premise.
Well, that's the thing.
Like the Borderlands books.
But listen, what he's Yeah.
If you're doing like
the same world, but
right. Yeah, a shared world is a little bit different of a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because then the stories are interacting with each other, and one is changing the next, and that's a whole different ballgame. Right.
I was trying to imagine what would happen if the Glenn Must Die stories started to interact with each other.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Yes.
So what we try to do, and we have one, by the way, one anthology that is like that. We've got the Quarantales anthology, which is one we did during the pandemic. That is a near future question of what happens if the quarantine never ends. Right. So it's kind of a dark cyberpunky, but and I tried to find stories that were different from each other, but it is not our best anthology because of that. It does not sell nearly as well as everything else we do. And it has just absolutely proven the point. Right. But if you look at even Cthulhu Facon, which is pretty genre narrow, right? It's Lovecraftian. But there's humor and there's horror and there's all kinds of different pieces of the convention. And so the stories are very different from each other, even though they're operating off of the same basic world, right? The Lovecraftian world is so varied that you can do a lot in it.
Yeah.
But our best-selling anthology to date has to be Cow.
And
Right?
what?
Cow. The Cow
Oh,
book.
yes. Yeah.
Well, It's Your Cow has sold well over, I think we're over 1,600 copies now. 1,600, 1,700 copies, which for a small press anthology is banger, right?
Yeah.
And that's one we didn't kickstart. That's one we just kind of put out into the world back when we didn't know anything about what we were doing. It's the first book we ever published. But the only thing that ties the stories together in that book is the first line. And from there they go wherever the heck the author feels like that story goes. And we have found that having that level of diversity of stories makes each story more interesting because it's a gear shift from the last one, right? So you're going to read something totally different. And when I compose the anthology, when I figure out what order the stories are going in, I make sure. So let's take Glen Must Die. Glen Must Die has a couple of stories, I think 3 different stories that are set on spaceships, right? It's got 3 different stories that involve ghosts, right? None of those stories are next to each other. I have built the anthology so that the story that you read next shifts gears as much as I can get it to from the one that comes before, because that kind of difference keeps the experience fresh in the reader's mind and keeps them reading the whole book. And so when someone sits down, and I did the same thing with Cow, and I did the same thing with Cthulhu, and so when someone sits down with one of our anthologies, it stays interesting through the entire anthology. And that's really gotten our rep running for doing these kind of weird offbeat things.
That really helps me as a reader, because if I'm going through an anthology and I hit a story that I don't mesh with, I know the next story is going to be different. So I stay with the book because I know they're going to throw me something refreshing on the next page.
Yes.
It's an interesting technique. I'd never noticed it, but you can see it in the great anthologists in science fiction history. Groff Conklin did that. Terry Carr and Don Wollheim.
Gardner does law.
It's one of those under the hood things that anthology editors know about and that doesn't get talked about a lot, because it's, my goal there is never to have you notice, oh man, this anthologist put these stories different. No, my goal is for you to just be like, this anthology is really interesting. I keep reading it, right? Like, I don't want you to think about why. I just want you to keep reading the thing.
What's interesting is for someone who comes out of radio, you don't make abrupt changes like that. You flow, but this makes much more. In radio, people don't have any choice; they can't move. But in this, they do have a choice, and you want to keep throwing stuff at them that makes them want to turn the page.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. Yeah.
And this works well with the thing that many anthologies do of having a short introduction by the editor to each story at the beginning, which serves as the transition that tells you that everything's going to change and gives you that beat mentally to go, oh yeah, I'm different. It's different now.
So I don't do that in the anthologies. I don't introduce as the editor each story, but what we do have is, and this serves 2 functions. One, it serves the function that you have. Each story, before we get to the story, has a separate page. On the front side of the page is the name of the story, the author of the story, and their bio.
So the bio is serving very much the same function as what I was talking about.
And then you flip that, and then there's a blank page on the left, and then you get to the start of the story on the right. So there's a single page in there that is nothing but title, little image, right? Whatever our image is for these things, author name, bio. this serves two functions. One, it serves the function that you have. And two, it gives an author somewhere to sign in an anthology that is specifically there as their signature page.
Yes, I was noticing. That's lovely.
And so, like on the cow book, author hunting is a thing, right? A lot of the cow authors, because it's such a local anthology, if I go to like RadCon, for you Tri-Cities folks, hi, half the authors of cow are there at RadCon. And you can pick up a copy of cow and I can say, hey, look, these authors are here. Go forth and find them and collect signatures, right? And that gamifies it. It becomes a fun thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Particularly if one of the authors happens to be at the table when you sell it.
Yes. Yeah, which will occasionally happen. Sana Kulva is often there. Manny, who's got a story in cow, is often there.
So I have a question. What is the most tantalizing and successful Kickstarter reward that you guys have ever offered? What was the one that really grabbed people?
So it's the thing is, and the reason you're seeing a streamline is that a lot of the side dumb things, the stickers and the pins and all of that really hasn't done it. It's been the core offerings have been probably the biggest seller. The special thanks tend to get a lot, and we like doing those. And so in terms of tantalizing, like a lot of people really aren't interested in a lot of the side doodads. And so we're actually cutting a lot of that out and just streamlining it down and saying, hey, do you want the thing? Here's the thing.
Yes, as somebody who backs Kickstarters, I have to say that when there gets beyond 5 or 6 things, my eyes just glaze over and I'm lost. It's like I need 5 or 6 things, pick one of those and pay them the money and leave.
Yeah. And that is becoming our experience. And so the Glenn Must Die Kickstarter, like I said, it's going to be a lot more streamlined. It's going to be here's the thing, right? Here is the thing, ebook. Here's the thing, physical copy, trade paperback, hardback, audiobook. And then we'll have it bundled together with some of our previous stuff. But other than that, like there isn't going to be stickers. There might be some digital sticker rewards at like the $1 level for the people that want to come in at $1 just to see behind the scenes.
Now, you've got amazing artwork for Glenn Must Die.
That's all Esther.
Talk to me a little bit about how artwork drives people to a Kickstarter.
So, well, first off, we've got an amazing artist, and that's Albert. And Albert does great work on our covers, right? The Glenn Must Die cover, as you see.
It's not very easy to see, but yeah.
But yes.
It's small.
They should go to our Kickstarter page and they should see it there.
Yes.
Right? Like that's a
Once
thing
the
that they can
Kickstarter
do.
page goes live.
Oh, look, I just put it in the chat.
I have to ask you, Frog, how did you guys, I'm fascinated, I'm really interested as a communicator in titles. And the concept is this horrible, obnoxious person essentially invites his own demise and how this happens. And how did you pick Glenn Must Die rather than this dude must die or our friend must die?
Fred must die.
Oh, but Glenn's a real person.
How does he feel about being killed?
He doesn't know yet.
Oh, okay. Will he ever?
Frog, I have to tell you something terrifying.
What?
My story was based on a real human being and a real incident, and he just died.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so unhappy because when the incident occurred, I said to him, I will not solve this huge mess for you unless you give me the right to write about this story. So we turned into a fictional story, and I never got to send him the story, and I feel terrible.
So let me tell you the story behind how all this happened. It involves MISCON, and it involves probably too much cider at a local tap room at MISCON in Missoula, Montana, and it involves a man by the name of Paul Jenkins. Paul Jenkins is probably better known for Wolverine Origin. He created the Sentry. Right, he is well known in the Marvel circles. He did writing on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Right, he is like, we're here, Paul up here. Right.
And isn't he British?
He is originally British. He currently lives in the United States.
Ah, okay.
Now, Paul is a really great guy and a huge nerd. And he is also a part of the Crystal Palace FC fan club. Within that fandom, which has nothing to do with anything geeky, is Glenn.
Oh,
and
okay.
Glenn is sort of the butt of all of their jokes.
Okay.
Right? He is the guy, and Paul had many stories. Yeah, Paul's great.
But these are always, Glenn is a deserved butt in most of our stories.
Yes. He is the butt of many, many jokes that they have. And he is actually, from all reports, a really nice guy who's just really doofy. And that's kind of the just the social place he occupies. He actually gave Paul asked him if he could include Glenn in one of his projects and use his physical likeness. Now, Paul's a comic book guy, and so Glenn sort of thought that he was talking about, being a background character in a comic panel, right? So Paul did get the rights to use Glenn. And that is actually a comic representation of Glenn on the cover.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah, that is, we handed our artist a picture of the actual Glenn.
But it's amazing how this concept just struck a chord with so many contributing writers that everyone found a Glenn in their lives.
I told them to kill someone. You tell off. Look, we're all just closet psychopaths when it comes to our characters. Let's be honest, right? Let's really bore down to the nitty gritty. We love killing characters, right? There's only two things worth writing about: love and death, and nobody loves Glenn. So,
and love gets boring.
So this is like telling authors, all I need you to do, I need two things from you. I need you to kill Glenn, and I need you to mention Crystal Palace in some context, right? And that second one is so that the real Glenn knows it's aimed at him. Right?
So people did things like throw a bar in called the Crystal Palace or
place. The words just have to show up somewhere, right? But every story will mention Crystal Palace somehow. And that will let Glenn know that we're specifically talking about him.
So Paul's related artwork to this project must be highly collectible because he's so well known.
Paul is not an artist. Paul is a writer.
Okay.
So none of Paul doesn't do any drawing for us.
Is your artist someone who's worked with him in the past, or is someone out of your
I don't know if Albert's ever worked with him in the past. I don't think so.
Let's give your artist's full name so that people give him credit.
Wow, that'd be really cool. His name's Albert, and he has a last name. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head.
You see, artists never get remembered.
Yeah, he's never going to forgive me now.
No. Hold on. Albert Holasso?
There it is.
Yes.
No wonder you couldn't remember.
Where did you find him? His stuff is delightful.
His stuff's amazing. Esther found him off of a freelancer page that we were looking for artists on, and we had him do the cow cover. And we sent him a description. We're like, we want it kind of Farsighty, just kind of cartoony, nothing really complicated. And what we want you to do is have two beer-drunk rednecks pushing a cow off a cliff while it's duct taped to a hang glider. That's all we gave him. And he thought that description was so funny that he had that art produced within 24 hours, and he only billed us $50 for it. And
oh my God.
Yeah. That cover, and if you've seen the cow cover, like,
yes,
that is the best $50 we have ever spent. Right? That
he's
cover
a real established comics artist. I mean, he does great comics and wild. He's a dungeon master and does all kinds of cool things.
Yes, he does. And so we have consistently hired him as a freelancer to do work for us. And the Glenn Must Die cover is his latest and possibly his greatest. I love the cover so much. And I can't wait to show it to the actual Glenn. But because the actual Glenn is related to Paul through the Crystal Palace fandom and not through any of the geeky stuff, he's got no idea this is coming.
Wow.
Right? He still doesn't know because he isn't tapped into that market.
So nobody on this podcast tell him, okay?
Right.
You know, I suspect that many of these stories in the book that there have real Glens out there somewhere.
It's probable. There are certain. There's a couple. Like, I hope that Holy Knight's Fate, Holy Knight's Clamorous Fate, does not have a real Glen. That would be terrible.
Oh yeah, that's a really eerie story. Yes, and you released that as a promo, didn't you?
Yes, that is our promo story.
Is it still accessible?
It absolutely is.
I'm going to see if I can find it here.
I believe we have a link to it on our front page.
Yes, because I highly recommend it. There it is. I found it in Story Origin.
That is another place we have it posted.
Yes. It was shocking.
It's really good.
Yes.
But I hope there is a real Glen for that.
If you could put it in the online chat the way you did your bit about.
Well, I found a version of it on Book Scouter. No. Yeah. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Let me correct. Story Origin.
Yes.
Well, that's an incredibly, here we go, long version. But yes, it is definitely a fun, if slightly chilling read.
Yes.
I was actually intrigued as I read the book at some of the at sort of the different genres and subgenres that people got into. Ed and Manny used a theater subgenre, which had all this resonance to Macbeth and theater companies and stuff.
The Scottish play, yes.
So we've got it posted on our. Sorry, 1 second.
Yes,
here.
we can also there we go.
So we've got it on our website, and there's a little form over to the right there, and if you just fill that out and hit enter, you will get the short story sent to your email address.
Oh, that's even better. Let me see if I can find that one.
Yes.
I just put it up.
Oh, good. Okay, you're set. Well,
but yeah, that's the freebie story that we give away to people who want to get interested. It's eerie. It's hilarious at the same time, right? Like, it's this comedy horror mix that's
Well,
Chef's kiss.
it's one of those where I kept saying they must have solved the problem, only it got worse, which I guess is the essence
Right.
of yes.
That's a good story then.
It
Yes.
kept getting worse.
Yes.
So I actually met the author. I was out at JordanCon. Um, the author for that one's a guy named Brad Sewell out of Georgia, and um, I think this might be his first published short story. Like, he is very new. Um, he was not there as an author; he was there as an attendee to the con. Like, he was just going to the con. Came by, introduced himself. I was like, "Oh wow, you're Brad. You did this great story. We're like, I'm really happy to meet you." And yeah, he was just the nicest guy. Really kind of self-effacing. Really kind of like socially awkward a little bit. But just the nicest guy you'll ever see. And it was really fun. Like, so I had a panel later about anthologies, and he was sitting in, but he was kind of in the back. He was in this big auditorium area, and he was up in the back. And I just absolutely called him out. I was like, so Brad up there, Brad submitted this story that was amazing. And so now, because he did that, I know that this guy can write his boots off. I'm like,
Well, Frog, you are like Bob in that you both have obvious delight in discovering and nurturing new authors. I, as an anthology co-editor, I actually that's my favorite part of the job too.
yeah, so we have several new authors. David Benedict, this is a guy who has been trying to get into an Impulsive Walrus anthology for years now, and he finally wrote a story that was good enough to get in.
Yay.
They've been getting progressively better, and this one was really good. I was like, yes, we're going to take David Trek Benedict. And he was a pretty new author as well. Issy Gennarmo is actually three little old ladies from Australia who write together under a pen name.
Oh my God, I love it.
And they're amazing. They've been so much fun to work with. And this is like, they were just absolutely over the moon that they were getting a publication and then they got their short story purchased. And they had a really good short story. And how their writing works, I have no clue. Like, we co-write. I've done two-person writing a lot. How three little old ladies get together and write a short story, I don't know, but I love them.
They actually sound like a plot for a TV sitcom across.
I would love to see the Issy Gennarmo sitcom. But yeah, they're a writing team that are just so. You can tell it's just like a little group. Like, this is what they do when they get together, is they come up with short story ideas.
I look forward to seeing the bio at the front of that story.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun putting it together. It's a really great book, and it is this expression of love, really, for this guy that I've never actually met him, but Paul loved him a lot and told me a lot of great stories about him, and so I wanted to really honor that. Like, it's a book that exists kind of as a practical joke on this one guy, but it's also a book full of really great stories, and it's also.
It's an utterly original concept for a book. It's not like you can't say, shelve this all over there with the other ones about the person we want to kill.
So
well, most mystery novels are that.
I actually have to give a shout out here because we have recently discovered something, and what we have recently discovered is that you're wrong.
And
because we got some reaction after we started our test ads. And this is actually not an original concept. It turns out that wanting to kill Glenn is a thing. And so, like, it is just within the zeitgeist that Glens have to go.
Wow.
And so I do need to give a shout out, and they've been really cool. Right. And they thought it was funnier than heck too. And so it's been fun talking to them. And I'm putting it in the chat now.
Okay.
If anyone cares. There is already an anthology called They Keep Killing Glenn.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That has almost exactly the same premise of, now theirs is specifically directed at a particular Glenn. in the stories.
Yes.
But it is very similar premise of a multi-genre anthology about killing Glenn.
But and their Glenn is one of their own publishing company.
Yes.
And it's Peter David.
Yes, who knows
Oh
Paul
my
Jenkins. And so when Peter David saw the ad, he called up Paul and said, "What?"
Small world.
And so we all just got a kick out of it. We thought it was hilarious. And so, yeah, it is not original. Killing Glenn is just, it's a thing that humans have a drive to do, that all authors love doing. And
I
don't
do
know
have
why
to
anyone
circle
named their
back and
child
say that David Gerald, one part of the B Cube family, is an author in the other
in They
Glenn
Keep
book.
Killing Glenn. Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
And you're an
world.
author in Glenn Must Die. So this is a whole thing.
Next time I have my hands on the book at a convention, I'll see if David and I can sell the two as a bundle. Andre, We Killed Glenn banner.
Yes.
Yeah, you should definitely try to. That would be a lot of
Actually,
fun.
you could print yourself a little ribbon to go on the badges that say "I killed Glenn."
Yes. Oh, that will be great. Yes.
It's just a good thing that
Bob, your sound is off. We can't hear your words of wisdom.
I mean, we're assuming their wisdom, but
yes.
you know.
I'm being polite. I work for this guy.
There's no major politician named Glenn that I can think of, so we can't be accused of trying to.
Wasn't there a horrible commentator named Glenn something? One of the Rush Limbaugh types.
Glenn Beck.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
And then, of course, there's the musician Glenn Fry.
Yeah.
Let's all stare at Bob as he tries to fix his microphone.
Yes.
We still can't hear Bob, but we can see him in close.
He's definitely
trying to tell us it's time for us to go.
It probably is. It is 9:59.
Yes.
Yes.
So
we
often go over by 3 or 4
minutes.
minutes.
Out of here. If we vanish, it's because Bob pressed the button. So I want to say thank you to our incredibly patient audience and urge them to go read the sample story from Glenn Must Die.
And we'll also remind you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you, and bonus, we can see you twice.
Yes. All we have to do is blur our eyes a little bit, and we'll see you in 3D.
Now, can you hear me still?
There we go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, good. Of course, I hear an echo. But as long as you've got me, I've got a happy audience. I'm going to say great job. And I love the one thing Peter brought up, and that is we have new authors, somebody who's never published before. They are a pleasure to work with, and usually they're easy to get along with.
As long as they don't use Google Docs.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me going on those people.
I'm dealing with it.
I've had a story submission.
It's like this. She doesn't want to give me an editable file for the final book.
I'm dealing with it.
Oh, I've had a story submission. I'm not going to say which anthology, and I'm not going to say which author. That was a very good story, but she submitted it in a PDF file.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, tell them, don't do it. And they're about to get told, thank you, and then wave goodbye.
Yeah.
Because when I send them OneNote and they send them back a link, but not permission, then I bring it up and they send me the PDF file. And at that time, I say, hey, I need this. And they shut up all of a sudden. So now, if I'm giving Karen a shot at addressing, and if Karen fix them. I'm sending the thank you. And I have a beautiful thank you. I love the story so much. It was like God had down, typed on your keyboard, and gave you the best story I've read in ages. Unfortunately, I can't use it because the keyboard other owner won't send the file I can use.
Mhm.
But anyway, last closing points. Tom, put them through it.
Well, I'm having trouble understanding what you're saying, Bob, because your microphone isn't working very well.
He wants you to say some final words.
So the final words are thank you, Frog, for being here. And, I don't think you're planning to quit your day job.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
If anyone quits their day job, it'll be Esther.
Yeah.
We'll see how the next couple of Kickstarters go once we ramp it up.
Yeah. Let's just remember that we are here for B Cubed Press. The next big B Cubed Press book is
American Storm.
Our American Storm, which has a great cover by Jeff Sturgeon, who was in the chat today.
And Bob and I are working like crazy to get that book finished. There we are.
Yeah, no, we're not being helped by people who won't send us files in usual format.
Yes.
Yes.
We're not helped by people who won't send files in the right format, he says. For those of you who are having trouble hearing, as I am.
You having trouble hearing me?
Yes, you're
cutting
it's very
in and out,
distorted.
Yeah, you're quite distorted, and it sort of ends in the middle. Frog, aside from Glenn Must Die, what's your most recent book, and what's your plan after Glenn?
So most recent book was Cthulhu Fkan. Well, actually, most recent book was the collected short stories of Esther and I. We didn't kickstart it. We just kind of put it out. It's called Unmitigated Chaos. Our next plan, so January, we can't announce because we're still finalizing the contract. And so we are hoping to announce that one soon because that's going to be a really big step for us. It involves our ongoing relationship with Paul Jenkins. I can say that much.
Ooh.
And so that'll be a lot of fun.
It's another anthology?
It is not.
That much? Okay. Yes.
And then in May, we are currently slotted to kickstart a novel that has been stuck. We are the third publisher to pick it up. It has been stuck in development hell for 11 years now. I was there when Manny Frischberg first pitched this.
Manny's book.
And we have finally gotten the rights to it. We are in contract with Manny. We are working, just putting the final touches on the cover with Jeff Sturgeon, who's in the chat. Hi, Jeff.
I've seen this cover. I've read this book. What a treat.
And so City of Emeralds will be going to Kickstarter in May. And we're going to have a pre-launch page up for that with that shortly. And so, yeah, this book is incredible. It's a heck of a read. And it has been in limbo because he's just been absolutely worked by a couple of different publishers who picked it up and then never actually published the thing. And we're going to make sure Manny has a book, and we're going to make sure it's done right. So,
yeah. Well, it can't be as bad as the historical Illuminatus trilogy, which ended up killing off 4 publishers to publish 3 books. Every time somebody published one of them, the company went under. So,
I don't know about that, but and I hope we don't go under. Manny is a great book, and it's going to be a joy to publish, and I would love to come back here when we're starting to kick that one up.
Can you hear me now?
We
Sounds
can.
like
This
better.
is much better, Bob.
Okay. Whatever we do, all involved, is I want to see Manny on the screen when we get when his book's at that promotion point, that it's the right time, because Manny has been somebody we've worked with off and on from the beginning of B Cube Press. He's actually edited an anthology for us, and he's a good editor. I
Yes.
don't know how he is at doing his own, but when he's very good at doing other people's work.
Oh, I've read this book. It's wonderful. And it would be fun to get Jeff Sturgeon on with Manny, since he did the cover, and it's a very specific style of cover.
Is that I would just say yes, sight unseen, and Karen and Tom, your name is, right?
Tom, yes.
Yeah, I met you once. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, Mr. Asimov, you're sure it's not Isaac Asimov?
I had to look before he did. That's another long story.
Oh, well, we'll look forward to hearing it. But the Just Make It So number, Isaac, right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we're there.
I like it.
I am just thrilled that we had this fun. And so I am going to be getting you guys because I want to hear, I know that it's a long shot for a Democrat to be elected in Eastern Washington. But next month, I'll let you know as soon as possible if I've got him booked or not. And Tom and you and Karen can find ways to make him
electable.
We can do
electable.
I don't care about electable. I've met so many electable people. Mm-hmm. I mean, they line up in the cemeteries of political has-beens. I want to see the elected.
Yeah.
I want to see him get elected. America deserves a Democratic Congress, America deserves a Congress that knows how to get off its dead ass and do something. America deserves a Congress that doesn't got their head so far up Trump's ass that they're looking at whatever it is that makes him go, a little demon inside that pulls all the strings.
Yeah, but tell us how you really feel, Bob.
I think Trump is a murderer. I think he's a rapist, and I think he is. His actions and policies have led to more dead people than we care to imagine, and that's what I mean when I say murderer. His policies have killed people.
We hear you.
So no, that's how I really feel.
Yeah. All right then, and on that note, I think it's time we let these people go off and have their Sunday.
Thank you for joining us.
Go to church.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, and Frog, anytime. I mean, you are one of my favorite guests, and obviously, you're one of my favorite people. Don't worry, that heart's big enough. That you got in there for 3 or 4 compliments. And well-earned one. So take care, and I'm going to turn us off.
All right.
Now I can't find my end screen.
Well, we can keep talking to people for a moment.
Stuck here for an eternity. There